It's Ellie Colton here for A&R Factory, and I am joined by Leeds and London-based duo The Moontown Project. They released their newest single, Moon Honey, on January 28th, and it's a nice mix of indie, techno, bit of house, electronic funk, and their main influences are Gorillaz and MGMT. So let's chat to them now. Hello there. Did you like my introduction?
Oh yeah, what an introduction.
That's too much stress.
Yeah. So talk to me about this new track, Moon Honey. I want to know everything about the track. I want to talk about the artwork for it as well.
The artwork was by someone we work with quite a lot. He's called JR Motion on Instagram, but he's an amazing graphic designer, and he sort of does so much more than that as well. So all of our other work that we did with Bone Slim, he did that as well. So that was really nice to work with him as well. Yeah, in terms of the track.
I mean, in terms of the track, Moon Honey is basically us getting into the disco, kind of like electronic sound properly, because we've always sort of dabbled in that, but we get distracted quite easily by like cross-genre sort of like experimenting and all that jazz. So basically, I guess that was the first time we've ever properly honed in on on a specific sort of sound within a genre. And we're basically really deep into the disco still.
Yeah. And looking through all playlists now and stuff, as you do after releasing as an independent artist, you sort of just end up listening to disco songs constantly all day. So we're getting deeper in that hole, but because of the nature of us being like cross-genre, we're keen to sort of pull ourselves out of that, investigate something else, and then get ready for it.
You kind of are like creating a new genre because like in the event of making myself sound like really musically uneducated, I've never heard anything like what your track is before. So when I listened to it, I was like, it kind of reminds me a bit like Chic, but then it is indie. It's kind of got that MGMT sound as well. It's like, it's so interesting to listen to as well.
Well, thank you. That means a lot.
We appreciate that. I mean, I guess we kind of like we were birthed when we were younger. We were in a rock and roll band, so we were really into the indie scene as well.
Right.
And like what I enjoyed is like combining the two, because usually, I mean, the last tape we made with Bone Slim, that was more of a hip hop tape. So it was quite nice just to have full reign to go as indie as we wanted with the sound. You know what I mean? Without having a rapper there like, hang on, pal.
It's a bit too.
This is too indie. So it's quite nice to have free reign.
We did have some feedback with the Mask on the Moon, which was the last tape we did, and it it was too rap for indie places, and it was too indie for rap places. So it's sort of, there's good things and bad things about being cross-genre, because you sort of at the start you don't fall into a sort of one genre, so it's not too easy to categorize. But we think it will be sort of longevity and stuff like that. We think it will help, and we love making it. So
I forgot to say, speaking of like indie, you know Black Waters, don't you?
Yeah. Just name drop there.
I used to play in a band with the drummer.
Middle of the interview.
Oh yeah. No, I was gonna say, I thought we were recording for a second. I was gonna say, like my first band, I was with James, who's the drummer from Black Waters.
Yeah. And they're massive in Sheffield as well, but like, didn't they meet it in like Guildford or something?
Yeah,
they did. But they're like, this is about you guys. Take your moment. You know, it's good to name dropping that. But this is about you. You mentioned you're such a pro. You mentioned Bone Slim before, so tell me about that sort of like relationship that you have, because like you say, it's a bit of an unusual one.
Well, we've known him for years, so he's a year above us at school back in Kingston, where I'm from. Will's from Wimbledon, and Ollie's from Bone Slim is from
don't give away
Tell everyone.
But yeah, Bone Slim's from the area we grew up in, basically, and he started off, he's always been rapping, but he was rapping at sort of this place called the Fighting Cocks with some really heavy like garage bands. So then he'd come on and do a hip hop set. It was a really weird scene, but he was sort of establishing his roots in a few different places. And then we just got talking about music the other year when we were starting up the Moontown Project. And we just got in the studio, and I think
we were quite surprised, because like I love his music. Like, I was listening to his music long before I knew him well, and I think we were surprised. We were chuffed that he wanted to work with us, because it's like because he's killing it as well. but I mean, just more like sound wise, you know what I mean? It's like he's very cool because he's very like open. He's very open.
Yeah.
He's not like set on one way of writing, especially
Yeah.
within like sort of hip hop genre. And so I guess we were just excited to work with someone who we were fans of, essentially.
Yeah,
I mean, it was quite
definitely.
fun as well because so we started off like we were supposedly supposed to do one track, right? And then one track became two because we were like that, you know, we started another one like before we finished the first one, and then two tracks became three, and then we were like, do you know what, mate? Let's just make a tape.
Yeah, and that's how we got to know Stogie as well, who are is sort of a local label of friends and stuff, but it's not, I wouldn't say it's sort of, I don't know, it's a label, but it's more a group of mates that just work on music together and have a great time in the studio and
Probably
stuff.
like a label in its infancy, maybe.
Yeah, definitely, which is really nice as well, sort of keeping it, I say local, now we're based up in Leeds, but within our sort of people we grew up with.
Yeah. And talk to me about where you are now. You've got the aesthetic of the indie rug on the wall. You're kind of matching it slightly. I do like that.
The rug that he's wearing.
And you're surrounded by your instruments. So is this where you make music? And what is it? I know we've been in this pandemic for nearly a year now, but obviously you were gigging at so many places before. Like one of the ones that I've been to, not seen you unfortunately, but Islington O2. It's a really nice little venue and it's a good atmosphere there. And obviously you've gigged there. So what's it been like not being able to do that? Have you just been creating music in your little den, or?
Yeah,
basically, yeah.
It's hot. Yeah, it's been horrible to be fair, because I guess it sort of made us focus on aspects that we didn't focus on before. Because with our last band, we sort of just were like, right, let's play as many gigs as possible. Hope there's someone in the industry at the back of the gig or something. Whereas now it's sort of like we're going from the other way. We're sort of trying to build up our online presence and streaming, and then we're gonna, once Corona's over, then we're ready to come back and show everyone what we've been doing.
Yeah, definitely. But you've had support from radio stations as well. So how have you been getting your name out there? Is it just social media?
It's soul destroyingly, yeah. So a lot of the time, yeah. Because I mean, what else is there? It's difficult at the moment, obviously, because it's hard to reach out to people.
We've from our last band, we had some contacts in radio. So that sort of was a good start, and then collaborating with Bone, we got a few people through that. And then, just Instagram, connecting with people. We worked with a marketing company on this last single, so that allowed us to get out to a few more people. And I think it was marketable, I guess, without meaning to, like, that wasn't our intention when we created it, but because it sort of has that feel-good vibe to it, it's like been what people do engage with it. So
no swear words as well.
Yeah,
well, when we finished it, we were like, wow.
That's impressive. Are you quite sweary people?
Well, I mean, it's quite a funny story. So with one of our singles before, the guys over at BBC Introduced in London, they like 9/8 Collective, who obviously Bone's part of. So like they were quite happy to run the song, but they were like, "Can you send us a radio edit, please?" And we were like, yeah. So we gave it to our engineer, and we were like, "Mate, can you do a radio edit?" He was like, yeah. Sends it back. We don't even bother to check it because like he's our engineer, right? And we were like, okay, cool. Like, would you like, you know what I mean? Just all you have to do is bleep out the swear word sort of thing, and we sent it over to the guys at BBC. Obviously, they were like, yeah, we don't need to check it. So like,
please, my eyes are watering right now. What did it say?
From your reaction as well, that's bad, because obviously you know how important that is. So.
Yeah.
There were a few F words in the first 10 seconds.
And that went out on air.
Yeah.
I am crying right now because that is, oh my gosh. And the only thing you can do in that situation is be like, sorry, but if you didn't expect it and you were presenting, that would just like,
would it
wow.
throw you up?
Yeah, I think Jess sounded like she was quite thrown off. She was a bit like, bless her. She was like, oh, sorry.
If you were listening to that live, knowing that was your track, how did you react to that? What did you say?
We were very apologetic, and it was obviously a complete accident. But I
did find it pretty funny. But I think we didn't want to look like we didn't want to look like because we were like, we're so sorry.
First BBC introduced an appearance, and
oh my god, what a way to set a good example. Well, you know, let's look to more positive things. Tell me what's coming up for you this year, because like you say, you're obviously very innovative, you're very creative, and you've obviously got a lot of stuff in the pipeline. So what is coming up for you this year?
I think our plan is we're just trying to release as many songs as we can, because so I think we're aiming for one a month, because we feel like, because of what's going on in London, our name's not out there obviously in the grand scheme of things, but we feel like our name's more out there in London, and we want to establish ourselves in the north in terms of in Leeds, and build up that core sort of like fan base up here as well.
The music scene up here is something we've always been interested in. A lot of my family from Manchester, and looking at how certain musical genres have developed in Manchester, like Hacienda and stuff like that. Some of our favourite bands, and the North's pretty special in terms of music, so I would love to be a part
and I mean,
of that.
obviously it's difficult without gigging, because usually I feel like we try and gig all around the North to do that. So I guess our only way of doing that is by just bashing out song after song after song for all you lovely people to listen to, and hopefully everyone likes it.
Well, tell everybody. Well, do you know what? I mean, I'd be intrigued after this interview if I didn't know who you were. So if people want to check you out, what are your social media handles, and how can people find your music?
So we are at the Moontown Project on Instagram, Facebook, the Moontown Project. We have a Twitter, but we don't really use it.
If you want to be the first follower on Twitter, at the Moontown Project.
And then we're on all major streaming platforms. We sort of focus quite a lot on our socials on Spotify, but you can find us anywhere. I mean,
I recently found out that Tidal is like a way higher quality in terms of, I think you can get a WAV on there. You can get like a mastered WAV file. I'm going to bore everyone by all this stuff.
I don't mind being bored.
Apparently the quality of the sound is like twice as good, because Spotify compresses it when you stick it on Spotify. So
if you want to hear all the ins and outs of it,
if you want to hear like your favourite songs in the best quality, then do it on Tidal.
So are you looking for a sponsorship or an advert? This is not the place. All right, lads, thank you. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day.